All you action figure enthusiasts out there, JayC here, and we're back at it with another live stream. Welcome, everybody. Today we're going to be talking some Marvel Legends, as well as I thought we'd talk about some of the Mezco Toy Fair reveals that went on this weekend, which also involves some Marvel stuff, but a couple other surprises that I thought we'd go over, and then just, whatever else comes up. However, before we get into talking action figures and everything, I just want to give a big shout out to Blake, who in Wednesday's live stream did a $50 super chat donation right as I was signing off, so I wasn't able to give him a proper shout out. So once again, man, a big thank you. Really appreciated for that. And just because we are on the subject of super chats, I've been doing some playing around, and obviously, I never expect anyone to make a super chat donation. It's kind of like my tip jar. If you want to, that's great, but I don't make you do it to try and answer your questions and stuff like that. But I did, and I don't know how well it's going to work, but anyone who makes a $2 super chat donation or more tonight, hopefully, if all goes well, there'll be a little extra surprise that'll pop up. And like I said, if everything goes accordingly. So just throwing that out there. But anyway, let us see who is in the house. So Blake, welcome, my man. Clay, welcome. Rainbow Rare, welcome. I've got my screen over here so I can more easily see you guys' comments. That's why I'm looking over here as opposed to into the camera. Let's see. Thanos the Mad Titan's in the house. CM Brock is in the house. Michael's in the house. Classic action figures. The Krang Rebellion is in the house. What's up, man? Damien is in the house. From Scotland. Wow, man. My ancestors were originally from Scotland, but I have never been to Scotland myself. Tom is in the house. John, welcome. Vizelle, good to see you, my man. Toymaster 54. We got a lot of people here. Everybody tuning in for the latest Marvel Legend news, I'm guessing. Also, I managed to get up the notification of doing the live stream a little bit earlier than I usually. Blake, once again. All right, let's see if it works. Oh man, no, it's not working. All right, that sucks. I don't know why it's not working. You're supposed to see something pop up with your name. There's even supposed to be some sound, but. Oh wait, there we go. Okay, it was just delayed. Hopefully you guys saw that and heard it. There's a delay, so I can't tell if you guys saw it or not. All right, we'll keep going. Oh, there it goes. Of course, I don't know if you guys hear it or not. That was when I was testing it out, I was having problems determining whether you guys could hear it. You're supposed to hear the Hulk go Hulk smash. Sweet, sweet. Did you hear did you hear the Hulk? I'll do more playing with this stuff. There's all kinds of things you can do, just to kind of try and make things more fun. But I gotta try. I just started using OBS just like a few months ago, and so like I'm trying to learn all this stuff. So all right, cool. So let us get into some news. So before we get into the Marvel Legends stuff, let's talk a little bit about the Mezco reveals that started yesterday, and they had more reveals today. So I'm just gonna flip over to my. Sorry, I hit the wrong one. All right, so I'm gonna flip over to the other screen here, and we'll go to the Mezco news. So last reveal of the day from them was Power Rangers. They're doing Mezco 112 Collective Power Rangers, starting with the Green Ranger. Now, it really seems like Hasbro is really licensing their properties. You know, they now own Power Rangers, so Power Rangers is now their property, just like GI Joe and just like Transformers. So seems like they're really licensing those out to other toy companies. We've been seeing a lot of toy companies, you know, from Super 7, Diamond Select Toys, 3 Icon Heroes, now Mezco, you know, some are doing like all the properties, GI Joe, Transformers, and Power Rangers. Some are just doing like Power Rangers or Transformers or GI Joe, you know. But could, like, with them doing Power Rangers, you know, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I could see them doing, probably not Mezco 112 Collective Transformers. That would be a bit much, but I could see them maybe doing GI Joe figures. You know, if they so chose. So I could see that being on the table. You know, if you caught my regular news video on Friday, I talked about how Diamond Select Toys was doing mini mates for Transformers. I would love to see some GI Joe Transformers. I don't know if companies, you know, are just shying away from GI Joe because they don't think there's enough popularity there, or you know, they just, you know, Hasbro is being a little more stingent on licensing that one out. I mean, 3 is doing 12-inch GI Joe figures with the Snake Eyes and the Storm Shadow, and but like and Diamond Select Toys is you know, they announced that Destro statue that they're doing. Henry G, what's up, man? But besides Power Ranger, and they didn't give any details, they just released these images with no details, which is a little annoying. It would be nice if they gave us some details. You know, they gave us 2 images with the Power Rangers. I don't know. I assume there'll be unhelmeted heads that are included with these. But at this time, I don't know that for sure. This is one of their Rumble Society figure teases. Looks like some type of shark. So, and then Wolverine, they showed off just today their 112 Collective Tiger Stripe Wolverine figure, which actually is looking pretty good. Looks better than the brown costume one that they did. Planet of the Apes. Now, I think, if I remember correctly, they actually started showing these off last year at Toy Fair. You know, I want to say they had one of these on display there. But and this is from the original movies, you know, 1972 version, not the more modern. Then their mascot, they're doing a 14-inch type figure of their mascot. Nice butt shot there. And this is one of their Living Dead dolls from Silent Hill. And then one of their MDS figures for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Leatherhead. I don't know how many people collect like these like Living Dead dolls and MDS. I kind of feel like it's a totally different segment that collects the Living Dead dolls and things like this, as opposed to like the 112 Collective stuff. Maybe not. I don't know. Bill and Ted. When I first saw these, I thought these were 112 Collective figures. I didn't look closely enough. I guess it's because they're posed, but they're actually 5 point. They're 3 3/4 inch or 4 inch 5 point figures, so they have minimal articulation. They're essentially stuck in these poses. Though maybe they're giving them alternate arms or something. I don't know. Again, they haven't really given us any details. Superman. So 112 Collective Superman, classic Superman. Looks very much like their Christopher Reeve Superman, only you know with like a different head sculpt. You know, maybe some other differences, but you know when I first saw this, I had to like do a double take. I was like, they already released Christopher Reeve Superman, but Looks pretty good. I'm still waiting for my Christopher Reeve Superman. It's been processing for like several weeks now, so I don't know what the holdup is. Michael Myers from Halloween 2, 112 Collective Treatment, Bloody Eyes. The Crow. This one actually I think is really cool. A 112 Collective Crow figure. So that was a great movie. You know, Brandon Lee before he died. One of the early comic book movies that I don't think gets a lot of credit, but I really thought that original Crow movie was really really good. Another one of their Rumble Society figure teases, and then the Fantastic Four. So they actually teased this past summer. Um, they didn't show the figures. They just did a little animation of a flaming four going up into the sky. But we knew these were coming. But now we've got our first look. Even though I will say this image, only the one image is what they released, and it is seemingly pretty heavily photoshopped. So thing looks good, and the others look pretty good overall. No idea if they're going to release this as a box set or if they're going to do these as individual figures. I'm kind of thinking maybe the box set route. They're going to go the box set route. Is my gut feeling, but I really don't know. So we'll have to see on that. Actually, it's not even supposed to be in there. Oh well. So that was their Toy Fair reveals this weekend. They're really the only company kind of doing their own Toy Fair thing, virtual thing this year. Which again, they have their exclusive set that they always offer at Toy Fair time that they're selling to everybody. I made a comment, and when I talked about that in the news video on Friday, I was like, it kind of defeats the purpose of selling a Toy Fair set to everybody. And somebody took offense to that, meaning like I didn't think other people should be allowed to get it, and that's not it at all. I really could care less if they sell stuff to everybody. I just think calling it a Toy Fair exclusive is kind of lame if you're going to sell it. Toy Fair is not an open event to the public generally. It's open to retailers and the media for those not familiar. So it's not like a typical convention. And in the past, so Mezco started doing that where they would offer these limited exclusives at Toy Fair, and of course people would, in the media and stuff would run and get them and then turn around and sell them up on eBay for large sums of money. Not me, I haven't sold any on eBay, but that's what was usually happening. And then last year they ended up putting them up online after Toy Fair, so they ended up essentially releasing them to everybody last year, and then this year they're just doing it online. And again, I don't have a problem with them selling them to everybody. I just, when you call something a Toy Fair exclusive, then generally that means it should only be available at Toy Fair. Where I have the hang up is they shouldn't call it a Toy Fair exclusive. They should just call it a regular exclusive, like they normally do, and just sell it on their website. See, Damien, Super 7, Brian on Mr. Allen in the World of Toys. Recent interview, he talks about Battle Beasts are in discussion, but not on the agenda yet. Battle Beasts would be interesting, but I mean, other companies have done variations of Battle Beasts since the original line came out. Adam, what's up, man? Pablo says the soundtrack to the Crow movie is great. Yeah, I mean, it was just a really good movie, and I'm not even like a big Crow fan. It's not like I was into the comics or anything. I like the movie. CM Brock says his Christopher Reeve Superman is still processing as well. Blake, is Hasbro doing the Fantastic Four 6 inch Marvel Legends in blue and white costumes? I heard that somewhere. I haven't heard that anywhere, but I mean, it would be pretty easy for them to do. Just take these figures and do the. I assume you mean like the dark navy blue outfits, the navy blue and white ones. So I could definitely see them offering, getting their money out of those sculpts and offering variations of the FF. I don't. I mean, there's been no official announcement that I'm aware of for anything like that, but I definitely think that would be a super possibility. Trevor, I think he was talking about, if I'm not mistaken, the Mezco one. Maybe, maybe I missed the question. Maybe he was talking about Marvel Legends. I don't know. They haven't done though. For Marvel Legends, they haven't done the dark navy blue and white ones that they wore in like the '90s when like She-Hulk was on the team. And yes, Trevor, retro Fantastic Four figures are coming, so we could definitely see something like that. In fact, I would be very, I mean, I would be very surprised if there aren't the four team members in that retro line. So, the Dark Navy outfits would make sense. A She-Hulk figure would make sense to me. In that retro line. I know there's a retro wave coming, but I don't know what figures are in it. So, your guess is as good as mine. But I would be very surprised if they didn't do the Fantastic Four in that retro wave, and then with some extra characters. Whether there'll be anybody new that hasn't been released in some shape or form, I don't know. I hope so. I'd love to see like the Wizard. Uh, would be a good one for that line. Coco wants a Shuma. Yeah, that build a figure for the Bring on the Bad Guys wave was an odd choice. I mean, obscure character, but kind of, I would have never guessed that character like in a million years. So let since we're moving into Marvel Legends already. So if you haven't caught it already, yesterday I'm gonna switch back over to my other screen. Actually, I had you on. Sorry, I had you on the other screen the whole time. But I did this. I put together. I like to do these. What we know and what we kind of know and what we think we know articles every time they do. Reveals from Marvel Legends. So this basically, if you want to keep track of everything that we know 100% been confirmed by Hasbro, and then what is rumored, meaning has not been officially confirmed by Hasbro, but very likely is going to be released, like 99%. But one of the reasons why when we talk about these rumored lists, I definitely use the word rumor, is because it's not always 100%, because a lot of I don't see these, I don't get to see these figures early. It's not like I see them and know exactly what they are. I just see names. So like, take on the Bring on the Bad Guys wave, and my initial, the info I saw initially listed the Red Skull, the classic Red Skull figure, as just a Hydra Supreme. So Red Skull is kind of a Hydra Supreme, but there is an actual Hydra Supreme character out there, several versions. And so when I saw that name, that's what I went to as Hydra Supreme. But in fact, it turned out to be Red Skull. Now, I learned much later from when I originally told you guys about that wave that it was in fact Red Skull, but I was asked not to reveal it. So I gave you guys, I dropped a few hints like in the few days leading up to the live stream, but that's why things can change. And also when I show you images, those are for reference. I don't know exactly what costumes or what looks they're going to have and things. So even like this AI Iron Man that they revealed, my initial info listed as just hologram Iron Man. So I didn't know if it was going to be like a completely translucent Iron Man figure. I mean, that's kind of where my mind was going when I first saw the name, as opposed to just the hologram head and everything. So, that's why, while the info at its base is very solid, there can be variations or slight changes or things like that. So, but so bring on the bad guys. Did for all intents and purposes turn out to be what I had told you guys last year they were going to be. Obviously I didn't know the build a figure again. I would have never guessed that build a figure in a million years. But the hood, which has now been, I think, unofficially dubbed the angry Marvel Legend collector with his screaming face. We've got the white Doctor Doom from the Secret Wars, and again, I had Victor Von Doom, so I had no idea what version of Doom they were going to give us. So the white one, I guess, makes sense, but I had no idea until yesterday or Friday, I should say, what it was. Arcade, the Dormammu, man, I think that figure has come out looking really good. We saw basically concept art for it, digital rendering type stuff for it. But I think that figure actually has come out looking really good. So that might be the one I'm most excited about in this wave. I mean, classic Red Skull is pretty good as well. And I do think it would have been cool had Hasbro given us like a Von Stucker head as opposed to two Red Skull heads. And because I think Von Stucker head would work pretty well on this body. So I think I'd seen some of you guys mention that as an idea. Even saying a Von Stucker head, a Steve Rogers head, even though I'm sure you could stick your own Steve Rogers head on there, and then Red Skull head, so you could have like three figures in one. But I do think the Von Stucker head would have been great for this. Lady Deathstrike. I think that's one that a lot of you guys have been wanting. I think for me, Dormammu, Arcade, and Arcade, even though he's not like the most super exciting figure, he is. He's. I don't know. I've always liked him. I have like a lot of the older comics with him, where the first Marvel team up with Captain Britain and Arcade, and I talked about that in the news video the other day, where I thought that if they took like re-release the retro Spider-Man figure with an original classic Captain Britain figure in a 2-pack and made the packaging look like Murder World, I think that would be cool. However, the more I thought about it after I did that video, the more I don't think that's probably much chance of what they were hinting to for that sword clue, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. But I'm glad they're giving us Arcade, because I think he's kind of a cool character, even though he's pretty basic looking character. But he's like a Spider-Man and X-Men villain, so he can go either way. The Hood, even with the crazy, even if he didn't have that kind of ridiculous expression on his face, not a character I'm too excited for. The AIM Supreme Scientist, not super excited for, but so in some ways I'm almost glad that the Build-A-Figure is not one that I just have to have, because then I don't have to feel bad if I don't get all the figures in this wave. But I'm definitely going to get Arcade, I'm definitely going to get Lady Deathstrike, I'm definitely going to get Dormammu, definitely going to get Classic Red Skull. I'll have to think about the others, but I don't think it's a bad wave, and I'm sure they will probably do more bad guy waves down the road. So if the bad guy you wanted didn't make the cut here, my guess is you guys will get another shot. Trevor says the Dormammu should have had yellow flames on his head. Kind of a miss. It's a light color. I mean, it's not yellow. I don't know if yellow would. I mean, with the translucent, I almost kind of like the red flames. I don't know. Tyler wants a 90s Midnight Suns Blade. You know, I mean, with the Blade movie eventually going to be coming out, I think that's a real possibility. So I, that's not based on anything I've seen, but just knowing that there's a movie coming out, I would say there's a good chance of that. I mean, I don't know if they could even do it if they wanted to, but I wouldn't mind an updated Wesley Snipes Blade figure. Toy Biz did a pretty good one back in the day, but I wouldn't mind necessarily getting an updated one. But as far as like likeness rights and all that, I don't know if Hasbro could even do that if they wanted to. Jerry says, not bad wave, just bad build a figure. But come on, I mean, yes, I definitely think there are better build a figures they could have picked. But, you got to give Hasbro for kind of going deep and giving us, some obscure characters. I mean, obviously they're not for everybody, but there's got to be some fans of this character out there. You know there is. So it's not a character I'm personally super excited for, but I'm not like ticked off that they did him. So because I know there are other obscure characters out there that other people might not be that interested in, but that I really have been digging, like say Frogman and such. So um, should have given us a Molecule Man and maybe Mr. Hyde. Well, I look at that Dormammu sculpt and I feel like that they could make a Molecule Man from that. I don't know. It's like the harness piece or something reminds me of Molecule Man. So, and of course, again, we've got that Fantastic Four retro wave. So who knows? Molecule Man could show up there for all we know. I can't. I can't even pronounce that character's name. The build figure's name is Zumumu. I don't know. And he's like, if I remember correctly, he's like from outer space or something, isn't he? He's like a cosmic type. I mean, he's not like just a Sasquatch type character. He's got some type of cosmic thing or something to him. I think he fought the Hulk if I remember correctly, but Jeff says we could use some 80s superhero figures like Lou Ferrigno, Hulk, Spider Man, Captain America. I definitely could go for some of the class, like a Lou Ferrigno Hulk. Spider Man, maybe. Captain America, I don't know. The only thing I liked about that Captain America was the translucent shield. He wore the motorcycle helmet. Galactus would have been better. Yeah, I don't. If they do Galactus, it'll probably be another HasLab thing. Though I'd rather see maybe a Celestial than Galactus for the next HasLab. I'm probably in the minority. Probably most people want Galactus, like a really big Galactus, but being I already have two Galactus figures. I mean, I know they're only so big, but we've never gotten a Celestial, so I honestly thought the Build-A-Figure would have been Abomination. Well, we've already got a good Abomination. We don't. I don't think we need another Abomination, to be absolutely honest with you. All right, so let's talk Iron Man wave. So number two has now been confirmed on the list that I told you guys about. So classic Ultron, AI Iron Man, but so we we've got the modular Iron Man, which I think people. I can't wait to see that one. It's one of my favorite Iron Man armor designs. So, you know, featured in the arcade game and everything. So I'm looking for. I mean, and I'm making an assumption. I mean, all I know is it's called modular Iron Man. So I assume this is the version that we're gonna get. But again, that's an assumption because all I know is modular Iron Man. Ironheart, which again, you know, I don't what armor she gets. I don't know for sure. The guardsmen, I really don't know because there seemed to be based on the info I saw there was like confusion. It wasn't just like guardsmen. It seemed to like indicate it was something else. Now this version of guardsmen you see here is actually more from the Venom comics, so it would be odd they would go that route for an Iron Man wave, but you never know. Dark Star, if you're into the Russians. Now, I'm hoping Dark Star means that the Build-A-Figure is going to be Crimson Dynamo or Titanium Man. Though I'd rather have a classic Crimson Dynamo than Titanium Man. In fact, I'm going to step off camera and grab something here real quick. Let me flip back to the main screen. So when I say Titanium Man, I'm talking about that's the version I want to see. I would love to see that as a Build-A-Figure for the Iron Man wave. I have no idea whether it will be or not, but that is definitely the version that I would like to see. I was so disappointed with that one that we got in the Black Widow wave. URSA Majors. I mean, that's another possibility going with the Russian themed Coco. Oscar Classic Hulkbuster. That would be pretty cool too. Knowing Hasbro would be Detroit Steel. And see, Diamond Select Toys is doing a classic Titanium Man, so I feel like that would probably work pretty well with the Marvel Legends. So that's even more reason why I'd rather see them do Crimson Dynamo than Titanium Man. And then the final one in this wave is going to be a Stealth Iron Man. Again, I don't know exactly what version, but I wouldn't be surprised if they just take this figure and paint it in black type colors and make it a Stealth. That's pretty much what Toy Biz did back in the day. So maybe with some minor retooling and stuff, but I kind of feel like that's possibly what they're going to do with the Stealth Iron Man. All right, now the Civil Warrior. So when I did Friday's video, I totally forgot about how Civil Warrior was actually listed in the Shang-Chi wave. I talked about how I was thinking it was going to be a store exclusive, but there's so many rumored lists out there, I lose track. But he actually is slated for the Shang-Chi wave, which is going to be a mix of movie and comic book figures. So that is where he should pop up. And there's supposed to be an Iron Man figure of some type in that wave as well. So I have no idea what version of Iron Man is going to show up in that wave. Maybe, I don't know, does he have a unique contest of champions armor that he wears in that? You know, if they're going with video game themed figures, that could be a possibility. I haven't really played it, so I'm not sure. What's up, Phil? I actually, you know, while I've never really played the Contest of Champion game, I actually kind of think this is a pretty cool design. I've got the 3 3/4 inch one that they did. I don't like the shield. I'm not a huge fan of the arc reactor shield, but I kind of like, I dig the kind of armor look with it and stuff. So I might end up getting this one. And who knows when this Shang-Chi wave is going to come out? Somebody was talking about how like the Bring On the Bad Guys wave isn't slated until June, which my guess is we'll start to see it slip out before June. But I think one of the reasons why there's such a gap is two reasons. So first of all, there's just been a delay of stuff. I'm gonna flip back. There's just been a delay of stuff at the port, so stuff is moving much slower. You know, while both the Stilt Man's starting to see a decent amount of distribution, I think. But like the Power of X wave, which has started to see some release, you know, I don't think that's fairly readily available yet. So there's just a delay with that. But the other thing is you have to keep in mind is, you know, these movie waves were supposed to be kind of originally, you know, I think were planned to be, you know, put in between some of these comic book waves. And so the fact that these movie waves are being delayed is kind of leaving a big gap. And it's not like, you know, it's not like they can just go, oh, quick, let's go make another wave real quick and fill it in for the movie stuff. You know, it doesn't work that way. It takes a long time to plan these lines out. You know, they're usually planned out years in advance and go into production and everything. So, you know, with the Eternals wave, the Shang-Chi wave, and, you know, all these other movies being delayed and stuff, that has probably thrown a real wrench in their you know, release schedule. So I there's probably is going to be bigger gaps between new product this year simply because of that more than anything. Which honestly, you know, that helps. Sometimes all this stuff comes out so quickly that it's hard for the wallet to keep up. When is the Howard the Duck going to happen? Prophet 924 says. I don't know. I still have my Toy Biz Howard the Duck, so I'm pretty good on Howard. What's up, main event? Thousand Wolves says Iron Spider Classic would go dope. I don't know if you've checked out the one from coming from Sentinel. Actually, that one's more movie based. It was actually Reveltech, the amazing Yamaguchi, that's got a fairly decent looking classic Iron Spider coming out. Tom says, is Amazon being sanctioned? Their pre-order ship 6 to 8 weeks after the figures show up in the brick and mortar stores. Do they want us to shop at our local stores before going to Amazon? I have no idea. I mean, I don't think they're being sanctioned, but who knows what shows up where and when and what have you. Um, but I mean, Amazon's not that far behind. I mean, they have the Stiltman. They've gotten the Stiltman wave in, so they haven't gotten the Power of X wave yet. But and I've also noticed with Amazon that they start off with their release dates set pretty late, but then oftentimes they come in early. Now sometimes they come in early, but then they get delayed. So, but I don't know, Amazon's weird. And there may be something where Target and Walmart are using every influence that they have to, get the stuff first. Jay Willis says he would love a new Night Thrasher. I assume you mean Thrasher, but we just got a Night Thrasher figure not too long ago. We need the rest of the new Warriors. Have I seen the Hawkeye trailer? No. When did a Hawkeye trailer come out? Is it just come out now? What's up, X? Not gonna try it. Enomoto figs. X Enomoto figs. We need a spider side Build-A-Figure. Jim, any word on the Hawkeye Rider? No, not from me. I have never seen anything other for a Hawkeye Rider. I think the YouTuber Rectangular seems to have seen some intel for something like that, but I've not seen any indications of a Hawkeye Rider. Doesn't mean it's not coming. It's just not something I've seen. Jay Willis just picked up that Falcon and Winter Soldier 2-pack from Best Buy. Yeah, I was in Best Buy, I think last week. Yeah, they had like 10 of those things. It's a cool set, but being there's going to be a Falcon and Winter Soldier figures coming out in the upcoming Disney Plus wave. Thousand Wolves. Amazon screwed him on the Predator. Or, no, I'm sorry. Paradon set. Don't know what the Paradon set is, but hopefully they'll get it straightened out for you, man. Joshua has ordered 9 hand ninjas and still have not received it. Well, the thing about that, I mean, you're gonna get them, but those dedicated cases that e-tailers can order so that you can, so you can buy so many of those hand ninjas, those tend to ship last. That's a Hasbro thing. So often you do have to wait longer, but I mean, you're going to get them, so you don't have to go out and hunt for them or pay, huge secondary market prices or what have you. But as I understand it, a lot of times those dedicated cases, when they're kind of like a special order thing, and so they are slower to get out than the regular cases. What's up, Martinez? Falcon with feather wings, please. NECA needs to make. Jeff says NECA needs to make a greatest American hero figure. Yeah, I mean somebody. I mean, I think Mego did one, but I'd like to see like a 7 or 6 inch, preferably not soft goods. I mean, like the cape could be soft goods, but for the rest of the figure, I'd rather it be, sculpted. But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a greatest American hero figure. Okay. All right, Martinez. We hadn't actually gotten to that, but since you brought up that 2-pack, jump back over to the screen. So hopefully you guys all went over to Marvelous News and read this article, or going to go over to Marvelous News and read the article. But pretty much everything in this article I've talked about before, so, but I did provide you guys with one new piece of nugget of information, and it is in regards to that Black Widow 2-pack that we showed up, that listings popped up for on that Canadian distributor website a couple weeks ago. So based on info I have seen, that 2-pack is going to feature another Red Guardian figure and Yelena. Now I'm pretty sure it's movie based, but that is somewhat of an assumption on my part. My guess, and this is purely my guess, but it's going to be Red Guardian without his helmet, and then the Yelena figure, which is the one they haven't done yet from the Black Widow movie. But I can't sit here and say 100% that it's movie. I'm pretty sure it is, and then just speculating, since we've already gotten a Red Guardian figure, that this will be like a unhelmeted head version. But that should be what that 2-pack that we saw pop up. Those are the two figures that should be in that 2-pack. Jay Willis wants a Night Thrasher figure for cost or near cost. I haven't looked for it in a long time. I mean, you might check. Big Bad Toy Store might have it in stock. I don't know. You might look on Amazon. Amazon probably doesn't have it at cost, though. That's a cool. I love that figure. I love Night Thrasher. He's one of my favorite New Warrior characters, so I was so happy when they did that one. And they did a pretty good job with it, too, with the skateboard and everything. And we got the classic Nova coming. And we've got the Cage or Rage figure. But we need Speedball for New Warriors. We need Amorta. We need I guess we need a young Vance Astro. We got the old Guardians of the Galaxy version, but we need a young version. We got Firestar now. I still need to get that. I haven't gotten my Firestar yet. I haven't ordered it yet, but I need to. Lee 86, are Marvel Legends still a thing? Yeah, man, where you been? Prophet says, bring on Speedball. That's right, a tail. Maybe Dragon Man, Coco says. Well, Dragon Man, I would think, would be a Build-A-Figure, and I'm not sure. I mean, keep in mind that the Retro Fantastic Four wave is not going to have a Build-A-Figure, so I don't know where they would put Dragon Man. I still think it's Tigra. I'm still thinking Tigra. Landon, thoughts on Mortal Kombat movie? Well, we try to keep the entertainment stuff to the Wednesday live streams, but just to give my quick thoughts on the Mortal Kombat trailer, I thought it looked pretty good. I thought it kind of had the feel of the original Mortal Kombat movie, which I like. I don't know, some people didn't like the original one, but I like the original one, but with updated, better special effects. So I'm actually, that trailer actually made me much more interested in that movie than I was before I saw the trailer. Oscar, I know we get more X Factor and X Force figures. I mean, at some point, they've got to give us Wolfsbane from X Factor. We got the New Mutants one, but we need an X Factor version so we can complete that team. And then, Farrell for X Force. So at some point, they're going to give us those figures, but I don't know exactly when. That X-Men Classic wave that popped up, the listings that popped up, I'm pretty sure is a second Age of Apocalypse wave. So I have no idea what figures will be in that wave, but I'm pretty sure that that's going to be another Age of Apocalypse wave. J-Rod managed to snag one of those previews exclusive Dragon Red Rangers. Congrats, man. I assume you got the other 12-inch figures, the regular versions too. And I don't know if you were here earlier, but Mezco just announced 112's collective 6-inch Power Ranger figures that they're doing. So starting with the Green Ranger. Coco says he thinks there's a Herbie with the Invisible Woman. Yes, they did Herbie in the Walgreens exclusive one. We need it. Well, I don't need it because I still have the Toy Biz one, and that's a really good figure. But probably a lot of you guys need a new Franklin Richards figure. Marcus Taylor. Funny how we're missing both Wolfsbane and Feral, both much needed figures. I don't have any intel on either of those characters, but I would be very surprised if at least one of those two don't get released sometime this year. Probably towards the end of the year, but I would be very surprised if at least one of those two figures did not get released this year, because you're right. I mean, they've kind of those are the last two members we need for both of those teams. So hopefully they're not going to make us wait a whole nother year to get at least round. They may not do both of them, but I got to figure they got to do one of them. And speaking of X teams, so going back to that sword clue that Hasbro gave on Friday. So obviously, it's pretty obvious that is definitely got to be Excalibur. It looks identical to the one that we see Captain Britain holding in the comics. But while my original thoughts were it's going to be some new Captain Britain figure, the more I got to thinking about it, the more I thought what they're probably actually teasing is an Excalibur box set. And I'm thinking that it's probably going to be, similar to what they did with Alpha Flight and then last year did with Children of Thanos, where they released it as an Amazon exclusive. And, they could just take the Nightcrawler and, that they did in the X-Men wave and put it in here. They really don't have to do anything different to that one. Captain Britain, I could see them just repainting the one that they did previously, or maybe taking, one of the newer bucks and essentially repainting it. But, very little new tooling I would see going into a Captain Britain figure. And then, classic Shadow Cat. We got a more modern Shadow Cat, but we don't have her blue outfit. So this figure, the blue one, would not only work with Excalibur, it would also work, if you've got, you're building up the original X-Men team, or not original, but that first appeared in Giant Size X-Men with Wolverine, the team with Wolverine and Colossus and everything. She would go great with that team as well. And then you've got Rachel Summers in her red jumpsuit outfit, which they could just take a basic female buck and essentially paint the outfit on there, add some spikes, give you some flame effects. That would be pretty easy to do. And the same thing with the Megan figure. Though I wonder if they would do the brown outfit or the green outfit with her. But I really think, this is just pure speculation on my part, but I really think chances are very high that an Excalibur box set is going to be released this year, probably through Amazon. Phil would love to get a classic Captain Britain. Yeah, I would love, again, my idea of them doing classic Captain Britain with reissuing that retro Spider-Man figure in a 2-pack with Murder World packaging to recreate that Marvel's team up with those two, I think would be awesome. But I don't think that's what they were teasing with the sword. Jerry says that was a young-looking Nightcrawler. I don't think he looked pretty much. I mean, that's the Nightcrawler figure that we have, the most recent one. I mean, that's pretty much how he looked in in the Excalibur comic. So I don't. I mean, they might give him a different head sculpt, but if they wanted to, but I honestly think they could just reissue that Nightcrawler. And then for like accessories, they probably throw in Lockheed again, even though we got Lockheed with the first Shadowcat figure that they've done, but they probably, throw that in again. And then maybe the little widget guy, the little silver ball head guy, they'll probably throw that in as an accessory. And then if they really wanted to go all out, they might give us a couple werewolves, those silver wolves. Um, that would be kind of cool if they threw those in there, but Pat wants a Cameron Hodge figure. Are you? I'm assuming you're talking about a Phalanx version, not just the regular human version of Hodge. Thousand Wolves. How about a X-Men jumpsuit Wolverine and morph head would with an with like morph head? Yeah, I could see them doing that maybe at some point. We always get Wolverine figures. Wolverine's like Spider-Man. As long as the line continues, I think eventually we will see every single incarnation of those characters made into action figure forms. So, who knows how long it'll take, but if he appeared in the comics with it, I'm sure eventually he'll get a figure of it. What do you think of Marvel? Phantom King asks, "What do I think of Marvel Legends making their own effect sets like fire and ice, magic? If you mean like separately, I mean it would be cool, but I don't see much chance of Hasbro doing that." Thousand Wolves. We just talked about the sword. We don't know, but my guess is that it's going to be for an Excalibur box set. Jerry, would I say British Betsy Braddock would join them? You mean in her pink outfit? I don't. I don't think they would include her in the box set because she wasn't part of Excalibur. But I would love to see Betsy Braddock as Captain Britain. I was hoping she was going to be included. Back when they first announced that House of X wave, I was hoping she was going to be one of the ones in there. But no, I don't think they would include Betsy Braddock, in her pink outfit, uh, in an Excalibur box set because again, she was actually never part of Excalibur. Strucker, did I say Stucker? Yeah, Strucker. You're right, Mike. A blue Marvel figure would go awesome too. I I had never heard the name Blue Marvel until people started throwing that name out as possibly being Monica's friend in WandaVision. So that's not a character I'm super familiar with, but I did some reading on him here recently, but I don't have any comics with him. 49ers 1975 says he's cutting back on Marvel Legends, only going to collect X-Men, X-Force, X-Factor, but within the only character I want might sell off my Spider-Man stuff. So I wouldn't even if you're I mean cutting back is I totally get you there. But I wouldn't unless you just really need to. I wouldn't sell your stuff. I'd hold on to them. Of course, I'm a big pack rat. I hold on to everything. So, but like I always like never really get why people will collect stuff and then will then turn around and sell it off. Like, and again, part of that is just because I tend to collect things for the long haul. But And obviously, if you need money, then I certainly get that too. I hate reselling stuff though, because I'm always like, am I selling it too high? Am I selling it too low? I don't want to rip people off, but I don't want to get ripped off myself. Thousand Wolves. Boom, a monster saber tooth could be in it. Not sure what you're referring to, but probably there will be an Age of Apocalypse saber tooth in that classic X-Men wave that's been listed. I mean, that's a guess, but if they don't do if they're going to do a second wave of Age of Apocalypse figures and they don't do Sabretooth after they did Wild Child in the first wave and didn't give us Sabretooth. Coco says, if I don't like it or use it, I'll sell it. See, I'm always of a mind, and again, keeping in mind, I am like a pack rat. I keep everything, but I always feel like even if it's something I'm not like into right now, I always feel like eventually there'll be a I'll have a need for it. And the moment I sell it, I'll be like I'll go looking for it and I'm like, "Oh, damn, I sold it." So, I just I always hold on to things. That's why I have a whole storage facility full of boxes of crap. So, speaking of giveaways, so last week we did the contest and the winner ended up going with the Big Bad Toy Store credit. So I still have this extra Cobra Viper. Now, I'm probably going to give this away, but before I do, if Blake's still in the house, I just wanted to, if you're into G.I. Joe and you need a Cobra Viper, let me know. It's yours just because he's been way so generous with his super chat donations. But I don't know if Blake's actually still here. And I don't know if Blake actually collects G.I. Joe. All right, we'll give him a minute. Oh, there he is. All right, man, it's yours. Again, he deserves it. He's just. Hey, Blake, I'll put my email in the video description. It's jay@enewseye.com. But if you need me to, I'll put it in the video description. Just hit me up with your address and I'll send it out to you. Damien, Super 7 Thundercats Wave 2 and 3 update. Update as far as when they're getting released. I know Big Bad Toy Store just started taking new pre-orders for Wave 2. I guess they had sold out. But if I remember correctly, Brian Flynn in one of his interviews said that Wave 2 wasn't going to ship out until after the lunar New Year's that takes place overseas where the factories are, which I think is either going on right now or just happened. So I think it's still going on. They like shut down everything over there for like a pretty long period of time. But I haven't heard anything specific, so if that's what you're asking. Jack, have I ever sold any figures and felt really bad about it? No, but again, I don't sell a lot of figures, so no, but that's why I don't sell them. Reginald, tell me about the MCU figures. If you're talking about the Infinity Collection, the only two I can tell you about right now is there should be a Warrior Thor figure from Avengers Endgame and Quicksilver from Age of Ultron. But those listings, the guys at Whoosh, whatever you want to say it, is found. I can't say, as I've said before. I feel like those announcements need to come from Hasbro. Which unfortunately, it sounded like in Friday's live stream they were indicating they wouldn't be telling us until April. But now, if I see them leak out someplace other than me, I'm not going to leak them out. But if I do see them leak out someplace online, then I'll pass that information on to you. But otherwise, I'm letting Hasbro announce those. But I gave you clues on them. I mean, if you think about it, they're not hard. One's a 2-pack. The AVN4 is a 2-pack. And then the other two are single releases. And the prices... This is the listings that they discovered over on the Flush. So I'm not going to tell you, but I think it's pretty easy to figure out what these stand for. And like I said, this bottom one, I believe, is a 2-pack. And then these two are single packs. So, and you can see those prices. So think about it, and you can probably figure out what they are. Thomas says that's why the Endgame Iron Patriot is dropping in price. I missed the first part of that, but I know like Big Bad Toy Store started taking pre-orders for that figure again, so I'm assuming you're saying that stores are getting new shipments of those, which yes, that would... Symbiote's in the house. Well, you missed a lot, man. Martinez, is there going to be 10 items in the Infinity Series? That I can't, I honestly don't know 100%. I mean, I've seen, with the listings, it seems to indicate that. If there are 10 items, I don't know all 10 items, so I don't have that much information, but, so I don't know. It seems logical, but I can't say 100% that is the case. Wolfcat13, anything new on toys like Spawn? We haven't talked about Spawn or any McFarlane stuff tonight. I don't know when you say new. I talked about stuff in Friday's news video, and we reported news this week where Todd was showing off that Redeemer Spawn and that Cowboy Spawn again when he made his announcement for his Spawn universe. But he hasn't given us any details about those figures yet, so we're pretty sure they're coming, but we don't know how they're going to exactly be released. Just based on my speculation, I'm thinking that he's going to do a Kickstarter again for the medieval Spawn like he talked about back in October doing, and then probably like the Redeemer Spawn and the Cowboy Spawn and maybe a Violator 2 will get single releases, kind of like they did one-offs like they did with the Mandarin Spawn. The Cowboy Spawn, I believe there's an actual skin for that in the Mortal Kombat 11 game, so conceivably that could be an upcoming Mortal Kombat 11 figure. But I suspect there's probably not going to be a dedicated Spawn action figure line. We're just going to continue to see him do Spawn figures like he did last year. One with the Kickstarter, and then two at general retail. That again is just my speculation based on what we've seen, but he has not given us any specific details on Spawn. Will I be reviewing the NECA Puppet Master figures? Probably not me personally, but we'll definitely probably have those reviews up from one of the reviewers on TNI at some point. But I doubt I will end up getting those myself. Phil says if I could get any Marvel Legend in 2021, what would it be? New U.S. Agent comic book version on a bigger buck. We should be getting a Disney Plus version, but I would like to see an updated comic book version of his classic outfit or fairly classic outfit, just on like they did with the one they did on the Bucky Cap mold, but it needs to be on a bigger buck. Simba, am I a fan of those movies by any chance? If you're talking about the Puppet Master movies, I I saw them a long time ago, but no, I'm not a big horror person. I don't watch horror movies on a regular basis, so Jack wants to know if I've ever seen The Rain. I have no idea what Rain you're referring to. Damien, out of these properties, which would interest me the most? Brave Star, Galaxy Ranger, Captain Planet, or Mask? I would definitely say Mask. Even though none of those are toy lines that I ever really played with or collected as a kid, but Mask I think is probably the coolest. Brave Star maybe, definitely not Captain Planet. What do you guys think of that Quasar figure? I was really digging the Quasar figure. He's actually one of my favorite characters from the '90s. So just go back. I think it's a pretty nice looking figure. Hopefully, we'll get some energy effects or something to go with it. But excuse me. But yeah, I think that's a pretty cool figure. And then Nova with his cubit. This is actually a Nova. I know a lot of people thought this was like an alternate head or something, but it's actually just a floating type head. It's an actual member of the Nova Corps. So technically, this is kind of two figures in one. Last Babies is asking, is Hasbro going to remake every guy pinless. I doubt every single character will get the pinless treatment, but as the line goes on, probably we will see more and more figures get that treatment, and I'm sure they will go back eventually and redo some of the more popular characters. Kyle, well, you're getting classic Ultron in the Iron Man wave. Yeah, the heavy hitters, and even some of the, you know, midstream characters will probably get it too eventually. Damien says Quasar resembles a younger Robert Redford. Reginald, Civil Warrior will be in that Shang-Chi wave. Osmond's got the Optimus Prime from the Red Wave, the Red series from Hasbro, the non-transforming one. They don't look bad. Optimus Prime is the only one I've actually seen at Walmart. I have never seen any of the others, and I only saw Optimus the once. I didn't get him, but... And then, of course, Super 7's doing their Ultimates, which also don't transform. Speaking of Transformers, we should be getting some new Transformer reveals this week, I believe on Tuesday. I don't know. I think it'll probably just be, stuff that goes up for pre-order, and then we'll get new images. But look for some new Transformer reveals on Tuesday, and then I think Thursday we're also going to get some Star Wars reveals, a Black Series figure, and I think a prop replica or something. Again, I don't think it'll be like a live stream. I don't think there's going to be a live stream this week. Kyle wants an old lady Agatha Harkness. See, I can see them doing her and then maybe reusing parts for a Madam Web figure too or something. Wardman says the fact that Hasbro threw scale out the window with Bumblebee put him off on the red line. Jack, you're a weird dude. What did you guys check out those Transformer mini mates Diamond Select Toys is doing? 2-inch Transformers. Damien, there will be a Zemo. Well, if you're talking about the Disney Plus wave, there isn't a Falcon wave, but Zemo will be in the Disney Plus wave. Symbiote, which do I prefer, Green Goblin or Hobgoblin? I would go with the original Hobgoblin. Especially like from the cartoon because it was voiced by Mark Hamill, so. But I've always had a preference for Hobgoblin. No, Landon, no updates on the McFarlane Snyder cut yet. Hopefully soon. I was really kind of hoping after the trailer dropped they were gonna go on and announce those, but John, we'll never get an Inhumans TV series wave. I would probably say you are right. That's probably a pretty safe bet. Bean says Diamond is really stepping it up this year with several of their Marvel figures. Yeah, that Silver Centurion Iron Man actually looks like might be better than the Marvel Legend version, and then the Titanium Man's looking pretty good too. Kyle, will there be Dune McFarlane Series 2 figures? I haven't heard anything, and I tend to doubt it, especially since those Wave 1 figures seem to be sitting at Target pretty badly, but I guess if the movie did really, really good, then I could see them maybe doing a second wave. Jack has moved on from Rain to Mezco. Marcus, what's the next figure I'm going to pre-order or want? I don't know. I don't pre-order a lot of figures. I usually just wait and buy them. I hate pre-ordering stuff. I mean, if it's something that I'm pretty sure is going to be really hard to get, then I'll pre-order it, but I'm not a fan of pre-ordering just cuz I always lose track. But like one of the next I still need to get, I mean there's a lot of figures I need to still get. I need to get the Stiltman wave from Marvel Legends. I need to get Firestar from Marvel Legends. I need to get the new wave of Star Wars Black Series with the Bo-Katan. I need to get those. I just got these in the mail today from Hasbro Pulse. My Army Builder Hellfire Club soldiers. I got two of them. So these just literally arrived right before the live stream started. And I got an email this past week that the Toy Fair Hellfire Club set was going to be shipping soon. So I still haven't gotten that yet. Lewis wants to know what I think about Spider-Man 3 and Mortal Kombat. Well, again, after the trailer, I'm pretty excited for Mortal Kombat. For Spider-Man 3, I mean, I'm looking forward. We'll see how WandaVision ends and then go from there, but Symbiote. I'm pretty happy with the Venom that I have, so I don't know if there's another Venom that I would be dying to get. MK Solid says NECA needs to make their toys easier to get. It's getting ridiculous. Well, other than their turtle stuff, I don't think most of the NECA stuff's that hard to get. I still need the Rat King set for the turtles. Redneck Trekker, what's up, man? Steve, I have no idea how WandaVision's going to end. But we'll talk about the latest episode on Wednesday, so come back for Wednesday's live stream if you want to talk WandaVision. Kyle, have I seen the Disney Plus show 616 about Marvel Legends? I have. In fact, I'm actually in that. Um, just very, like, if you blink, you would miss me. And actually, my cell phone is in it more than me personally. But when they're at, like, when they're showing Toy Fair, like special, like the one scene when you see like the guy holding the cell phone up taking pictures, the red cell phone, that's me. Um, and I pop in and like a few other just random shots during Toy Fair, so I'm actually in that. My 2 seconds of fame. Marcus says maybe the disguised turtles will be another chance to get them. Yeah, I think those will be pretty easy to get if you're still needing the animated series turtles. Symbiote. I'm part of Disney now. Yep. Actually, it's funny because I actually had they had us like all sign, like we had to sign that year at Toy Fair, which was the last year. Yeah, I think it was the last year at Toy Fair. Can't actually no, I think it was the year before Toy Fair. Oh, and the other where I pop up in that is when they're showing like their presentation thing and they pan the crowd. I'm like I'm in the row closest closest to the camera. So like look for my Iron Man hat. I think I'm wearing that in the video. So with the Salome pack in, that would be cool. I'm that angry Marvel Legend collector figure. Does anyone else think the missing kid on the milk carton was Franklin Richards? Just me? Now you're getting into WandaVision stuff, man. Wednesday. But I hadn't thought about that, but I'll go back. If he's got blonde hair, then maybe. Jerry, didn't I have a dog and another cat? I actually have, yes, I have a dog and three cats. But Salome's the only one that ever wants to get on camera. She's not here tonight. She hasn't dropped in tonight, but all the others are camera shy. Reginald, when are we going to get the new Marvel Legends for Eternals? Well, assuming the movie comes out with and doesn't get delayed again, I would assume probably this summer. Marcus, why does NECA do new old orders for some sets and not others? Probably based on demand, but I don't know. Prophet says no, the kid is just a blurry kid on the milk carton. Guys keep wanting to go into that WandaVision. But I kind of, I don't know if it's Franklin Richards, but I kind of feel like there had to be some, it was an odd thing to put on the milk carton. I don't know. Classic action figure. Salome is on vacation. I don't know about vacation, but I think she's napping. Will Super 7 ever do Ultimates G.I. Joe? I assume they have the license since they did the giant bat. Well, I mean, that would be a different thing, but I assume that they could probably get the license if they wanted to. I don't know if they have or not, but that bat would be probably a different category. So, but I think it's certainly, being there doing Transformers and Power Rangers, I think G.I. Joe's possibility. And I don't know if you were here at the beginning of the video, but Mezco just announced a Power Ranger 112 Collective. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's impossible that at some point we couldn't see 112 Collective G.I. Joe figures. MK Solid. I have not, but it's been a couple weeks since I've been to Walmart. I know people are finding them, but I wouldn't worry, man. They're going to be available everywhere like next month. So, you'll be able to pre-order them from Big Bad Toy Store. You'll probably be able to get them at Target. Blake, Trouble Bubble for the new G.I. Joe line. A 6-inch Trouble Bubble? Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Goat Trap. Mark 45 Iron Man. Did we not already get one? I lose track. All right. I think we're going to wind it down. It's going on a little after 9 now. But as always, I want to thank everybody who tuned in tonight. Always appreciated. Blake, once again, super chat donation. Awesome. Like I said, I would expect this week we're gonna get a couple Transformer reveals on Tuesday, I believe, and then a couple Star Wars reveals on Thursday, I want to say. Don't think there's going to be a live stream this week, but from Hasbro, that is. And who knows who will reveal what. Hopefully, maybe this will be the week McFarlane reveals those Justice League Snyder cut figures. But I think that's it. I will do another live stream on Wednesday. Right, almost 99% will on Wednesday, where we'll talk about WandaVision and other entertainment properties. I like to keep the Wednesday, give you guys, those who haven't watched WandaVision yet, maybe, give them a chance to watch it before we start really talking spoilers and stuff. So, but Wednesday, we'll do that. And then we'll probably have, a couple regular news videos up during the week. So, but again, I really appreciate you guys all tuning in. If you want, head over to Marvelous News. If you're coming in late and you want a recap of all the Marvel Legends stuff that we know of up until this point, I did an article on Saturday, so definitely use that for your reference. It'll tell you what's confirmed and then what is fairly well confirmed, and then just some speculation stuff as well. So that's it for tonight, guys. As always, as I say, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Be much appreciated. just so I can get to 100,000 subscribers one day and get that YouTube trophy. Stay safe out there, guys. Stay warm out there, especially if you're in Texas. And until next time, okay. Hey, thanks for watching today's video, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification so alerted every time I upload a new video. And be sure to head over to the Toy News International and Marvelous News Message Boards communities. It's a great place to talk toys and win cool contests like $100 store credits to Big Bad Toy Store. And remember, action figures are great.